Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome all back to Dominant Mets Nation. And oh boy, we got a trade alert, trade alert, trade alert. And it looks like, uh, when I first saw this come across the wire yesterday, automatically I was like, okay, you know what? This is interesting. The trade was Jose Siri, center fielder from the Tampa Bay Rays, going to the Mets for Eric Orzo. Basically, a relief pitcher that really hasn't pitched much for the Mets. 27-year-old journeyman. The kid has overcome cancer twice, so I want to give him all the credit in the world. I wish him all the luck. If the Tampa Bay Rays are trading for you, that means they see something special in you. Okay, now David Stearns, and on the flip side, if David Stearns trades for you, that means he sees something special in you. Jose Siri, what does he see special? So as I was going through the numbers, doing my research, there were a couple things that I'm like, wow, this really, really surprises me. Number one, the value. The value. The value that we gave up right now in Eric Orzo is minimal. So basically, we gave up nothing, in my opinion. Nothing special. Maybe it's something Tampa Bay Rays developed, but all the power to them. All the power to them. I'm going to talk about what jumps out to me about Siri, what kind of makes him special, and what I think David Stearns, that genius in himself, what I think he was focusing on. Okay, so how does he profile? What is his skill set? What stands out, what doesn't, and then we're always going to get into our Juan Soto updates. And really, the vultures are flying right now. The vultures are flying because there is a deal. There is a deal. Is the deal done yet? Not quite yet. It looks like Scott Boras and Juan Soto are going through the motions, going through the process. But I think, according to what every expert is saying, it looks like all fingers are pointing in one direction, and we're going to get to that as well. So in our off-season Central Series, we are up to episode 17. Wow. Thank you all for following. I appreciate each and every one of your support. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for joining us. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button if you are a passionate MLB/Mets fan. We love baseball here on this channel. And also start this video off right. Smash that like button, especially if you are happy about this trade. Okay, so the Mets most certainly needed a center fielder. Yes, last year they had Harrison Bader. He's supposed to be the stopgap guy till players like Drew Gilbert, possibly Jet Williams, are ready to help you in the outfield. Also, Ryan Clifford down the line. So the Mets do have some young prospect down on the farm, but they are not ready. They are not ready. I wanted a guy who could play the outfield, a Gold Glover. I was advocating for a guy on the Rockies, Brenton Doyle, who was a Gold Glover. I love the way he played the outfield. The guy has a cannon for an arm, patrolled center field, that huge center field in Colorado, and he had a great hitting tool as well. So the Mets kind of went down that route, folks. They got a 29-year-old phenom on the defensive side, a phenom. Jose Siri could, literally, this guy loves to track down baseball. He's always making a highlight reel play. He has a cannon. He covers a lot of ground. I mean, this is a guy who, no matter who the left fielder, no matter who the right fielder is, he makes those two outfielders better just because of how good he is. Now, we're going to get to his tools, but he has a raw skill set. He's got speed. He's got some power. We know he could play the defense, and he's got a cannon for an arm. We're going to go over the baseball savant stats, and I'm going to tell you exactly where this guy ranks. So, Siri, he isn't much of a hitter, to be honest. He's got a career 89 WRC plus, which isn't that great. However, he's got modest power, peaking at 25 home runs in 2023, and he had 18 this year. His speed and his game-changing defense is really kind of shines. All right, so Siri's acquisition makes all the sense in the world because he's going to replace Harrison Bader. He possesses similar defense and speed and the same, you could say the same offensive limitations, but he's got more pop, in my opinion. Not, discipline. All right, discipline is really, he's under discipline. It's off the charts, but in terms of how undisciplined he is, but in terms of raw power, he's got power. He's got a bit more power, but the thing is, he is way cheaper, and I would argue that he is a way better defender than Bader. He's got more range, he's got a stronger arm, and he will make that highlight play for you. And in 2025, one of the nicest things is he is set to make $2.5 million. David Stearns, in my opinion, guys like David Stearns love these type of trades. They love finding these little gems, especially, get rid of an Eric Orzo, and I will upgrade significantly in the outfield. Okay, so what Siri is going to also help the Mets do is buy some time, like I mentioned, and it's funny, Siri, ask Siri. Okay, so Siri is going to be the Mets' fourth or fifth outfielder, and he's obviously a great fit. He gives the team a 2 wins above replacement player. In the last 3 seasons, he was a 1.8, a 2.6, and a 1.9. So, he's at least going to give you 2 wins above replacement. So that means he does have value. He's got a Gold Glove caliber defense in a key position, center field. Like I said, he's going to allow us to buy more time. But why the defense is really special? Siri finished the 2024 campaign with a 12 defensive runs saved. A 12 in the DRS category. He has a 16 outs above average. And, honestly, if you just use the eye test cannot lie. If you watched him play on a regular basis, and I'm not going to lie, I didn't because I don't watch Rays baseball. But what I did do in the last 24 hours is watch a hell of a lot of highlights and do my research. And this guy looked phenomenal. Patrolling Citi Field, it's going to be beautiful. It is going to be a beautiful thing. Now, Orzo, we gave up. He could be an MLB-ready reliever. The Rays are going to give him a chance to contribute. So we'll see how the value in terms of what we gave up. But I think we got a position, a piece where we really, really needed to fill. We really needed to fill that hole. Now, some things that really surprised me. I kind of wrote down a huge list. Number one thing that surprised me: the relative price, the value in which we gave up. I think the value we gave up is essentially nothing. We got a guy who's a Gold Glove caliber center fielder, very, very important. A guy who can pop 25 home runs. I'm going to tell you how he's done that in a very limited time, and I'm going to tell you what kind of things that can be changed that can transform this guy. His raw skills. He's got raw skills. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got arm strength. His defensive metrics are elite. All things that are surprises. And also his years remaining on his contract. He's got 3 years of control. That was something, honestly, that was a bit shocking. Usually, maybe 2 years at most, but getting this guy for 3 years, paying him nothing, that is a really good coup for David Stearns. And also, I do see upside in this guy on the offensive end. I'm going to be honest. I see upside on the offensive end, and I put upside potential. Brenton Doyle of the Rockies, a guy like that. He's got the physical gifts. He's got the power. He's got the size. He's 6'2". The issues is he has no discipline. Absolutely no discipline. And when he makes contact, he has some of the lowest exit velocity in all of baseball. His average exit velocity is 86.8 miles per hour. Really not good. Not good at all. So we'll go over some more metrics. But if you look at the offensive output, this year he had 18 home runs, 47 RBIs in 448 games, 187 batting average, horrendous, horrendous. Year before that, 2023, 25 home runs, 56 RBIs, 222 batting average, only in 364 games. When I see that, 25 home runs in 364, that projects out to almost a 40 home run season. I mean, folks, if he can get it together on the offensive side, coupled with his defense, we could have one of, I don't want to jump out of my seat here, but we could have a very dynamic steal, I mean, with his offensive, his outfield stats in 2024, he had 336 putouts. That was the fifth most. His range, he had the best range in all of baseball. I mean, and if he could just get the defense going, I mean, this could be like a legendary steal, So let's continue to talk about the defense, and then we'll talk about the potential of the offense. So with the defense, his fielding run value is in the 98th percentile. His range is in the 99th percentile. His arm strength is in the 97th percentile. His sprint speed is in the 99th percentile. This guy is ultra athletic, and he's got these raw tools. Now, these are all great defensive metrics. Great. He's got range, he's got speed, he's got arm strength, and he plays center field. So this guy is going to be an ultimate asset, especially if you got a Soto in left or right and a Nimmo in left. That is an ultimate asset to have this guy patrolling center field. Now, the hitting woes are, woerific. They're horrible. If you bring up his hitting stats, K percentage, 1 percentile. Like this guy, whiff percentage, 1 percentile. This guy doesn't make a lot of contact. Chase percentage, 12 percentile. Squared up percentage, 1 percentile. Expected batting average, 2%. I mean, these are like non-major league stats. Yes, I read to you before how he had 25 home runs, but things need to change on his offensive approach needs to change in the worst way. The Tampa Bay Rays, they are known for improving their approach for their pitchers. They are not really known for hitters having all these magical seasons. Last year, the Mets did a phenomenal job tweaking Francisco Lindor's approach when he went to the first, tweaking Mark Vientos. Francisco Alvarez had struggles, but the Mets have been pretty good at getting value out of these hitters that really have been putrid. Even Harrison Bader, in my opinion, had really, a better approach in a large part of the season. And when the Mets got down toward the playoffs and when they started going in September and October, their approach really changed up and down the lineup. Now, if you can tweak Jose Siri's approach, if you can tweak his swing, because like I said, the average exit velocity is 86.8 miles per hour, which is very slow. If you compare it to Shohei Ohtani, who's at the top of the league, his average exit velocity is 95.7. More average baseball players going to beat 90 miles per hour exit velocity, but that's where you see Siri would be at the bottom end of the spectrum, Ohtani at the top. Hard hitted percentage, so the percentage of balls that Siri hits hard are 41%. A guy like Ohtani hits over 60% of his hits hard. Line drive percentage, Siri line drives 22% of the times, ground ball 39, and fly ball 29. He has a 77% success rate as the stolen base, so he can steal you some bags. But the bottom line is, if you could do any type of tweaks in his hitting, his approach, and you improve it just a little, we may be talking about a very significant steal here, folks. I would basically shorten up this kid's a swing, make sure that he's a lot more disciplined, maybe have him focus on what he does is he hits the ball up the middle a lot. Obviously, if it's tough to do these days up the middle. Maybe you focus on him being an opposite field hitter. That usually is a good approach if guys have some power, but they're very undisciplined. That's what I would do. Maybe focus on having the kid go the other way. Something. The Mets have been very good on the hitting approach and finding what the guy does well and taking advantage of that. Pete Alonso has been, I would say, the exception. He has been one of the few offensive players that have regressed, but other players have not regressed. I think David Stearns sees something on the hit side. I know he loves him for the Gold Glove, but I think he sees this guy as having offensive upside. So I believe that as well. I definitely believe that as well. Let me know what you think. Do you think it was strictly a defensive play? How do you think about the value? Like, I think that we just got a monster steal, a monster steal. So I'm excited. I like this first move. It shows the aggressiveness as Stearns. We're not sitting around waiting for a big guys to sign. And a lot of times what you do is you'll make these little moves at the end of the season. All right, I made my big moves. I spent this much of money. Now let's see where my holes are. No, David Stearns is attacking. He's acquired already a couple pitchers. Now he's attacking a Gold Glove potential center fielder. So, and he's made a trade too. This is not just a free agent acquisition. Trades are sometimes can be a little bit more difficult because they involve more than just shelling out money. All right, folks. So again, what do you think about the Jose Siri trade? I personally think it's a steal. One more thing I forgot to mention about adding Jose Siri. The Mets essentially saved $8 million because they were paying Harrison Bader, $10 million to play that reduced fourth outfielder, slash center fielder role last year. So this year they're going to be playing Jose Siri $2 million. So that's another, clap hands for Mr. David Stearns. Getting a better position player in center fielder. Jose Siri is ultra confident in his abilities, and you get the guy at $2 million instead of 10. So, I mean, that's a great job savings there. Okay, so let's get to Juan Soto. Juan Soto recently meeting with the Dodgers, meeting with the Yankees. Next up could be the Phillies, could be the Giants. But right now, at the end of the day, most experts, I believe Ken Rosenthal, he was the last expert saying that, if he was a betting man, and most of these MLB insiders, they have the same exact opinion. They are just all fingers pointed to Mr. Steve Cohen. And, a guy like Michael Kay, who's, very, obviously he's a Yankee broadcaster. He's affiliated with the Yankees. He's been very perturbed by this whole situation because he is sort of an insider. And he knows that the Mets do have an edge. The Mets put out this proclamation the other day that whoever bids for Juan Soto, they will bid $50 million over. This whole thing is said to have, or is going to come down to money. So at the end of the day, the Mets look like the place where Juan Soto will ultimately land. Now, what are Yankee fans saying? Like, are they giving up? Are they putting their hands up? Well, some Yankee fans are leaning on this. Yankee fans are saying they have three big factors in their corner. Number one, the Yankees have that familiarity. He was playing there for a year. He got to see how is it to be a Yankee. The fans, they treated him well. He played with Aaron Judge. So they have that in that corner. You never know what clubhouse you're going to step in the future, if it's going to work out. Apparently, Soto had a decent time in the Bronx, so they have that going for them. Number two, they gave Soto a taste of winning, which I kind of push back about because they didn't win the World Series, number one, and Soto has gone above and beyond that. He has already won the World Series with the Nationals. And number two, whatever team he signs with, whether it's the Dodgers, whether it's the Mets, whether it's the Phillies, that team is going to have a legitimate chance of winning the World Series, even besides the Yankees. So the taste of winning, I don't know. And the familiarity, even a knocked out one, who the hell cares about that? Now, number three, they have money and then some. So that's another thing. The Yankees do have a heck of a lot of money, but the Yankees have been very hesitant to give that highest price. They really have been. The Yamamoto things last year, Aaron Judge, they weren't the highest bidder. In fact, they gave him a very laughable first contract. The Yankees have been reluctant when Bryce Harper was a free agent, when Manny Machado was a free agent. They very reluctant to dole out these mega contracts. And I refer back to the Steve Cohen effect. As of a couple years ago, when Steve Cohen came in. That's when the Yankees actually started opening up their wallets. Really, when Steve Cohen invested in Lindor, now the Yankees were more likely to invest in a Carlos Rodon. Now the Yankees were a little more likely to ante up to almost 400 mil for Aaron Judge. Before that, before 2020, they didn't go after Bryce Harper. They didn't go after Manny Machado. So, I think the Yankees have to adapt to their situation, to their surroundings, or else they would have fell behind. And right now, they went all in after Juan Soto last year. And if they don't find a way to get Mr. Juan Soto, it's not going to be good. It's really not going to be good. The Yankees really aren't in a great position this offseason. $240 million currently on the books. They lost Anthony Rizzo, Gleyber Torres, Juan Soto. They need some help in their starting rotation. They like to beef up their back end a little more in their bullpen. So the Yankees have their issues. The lineup prevalently is the number one issue. Okay, I think the Mets right now, without a doubt, whether it's a salary cap situation, have the best situation. They could build around him better than any other team because of their salary cap situation. He is the centerpiece of a Lindor, Juan Soto core. Mark Vientos, you could throw him there as well. You could throw in Francisco Alvarez. Even if you want to throw in Brandon Nimmo, they got 4 or 5 players there who are at least going to be there 6 years and beyond. I think there is a core to sell Juan Soto along with the city, the marketing, the brand. These players often want to build their brand, and it's best to build a brand in a big city. I don't think, going to LA, yeah, that's a big city, but him being the 4th or 5th superstar, what does that really do to his brand if he wins? They already won last year. They're already winners. If he comes to New York and he wins in New York, he will be the reason why they are the winners. And, again, it's all about legacy. I've been speaking about this to many folks who have said, oh, he'll go to LA. Oh, he'll go to the Yankees. Oh, he'll go, many places. A lot of these places have already won and been good without him. And last year with the Yankees, they lost with him. Now he has a new opportunity, a fresh slate to go to a team that is very on the precipice of being a very dominant team. They have brand new leadership in Stearns and Cohen. Stearns has been rebuilding the front office. They have competent leadership throughout that front office. The Yankees, they don't have that, folks. Cashman, each and every year, is he going to be here? Is he not? Same thing with Boone. Is he going to be here? Is he not? And it's not fresh there. It's not new. It's old. Cashman has been around for a couple decades. David Stearns is a 38-year-old, very young general manager / president. It is a whole different vibe in Queens, a whole different story. I think it's a very attractive to Juan Soto. Whether he says it right now with his representatives, no, he's not going to, because it is a negotiation right now. And I keep mentioning which side has the most leverage. And Juan Soto's side has an awful lot of leverage because of the team interested in him. But I think Steve Cohen has fanned the flame and has portrayed to everyone that, hey, only a few can be in this because of what Steve Cohen's first couple actions are, which I thought were genius. And in terms of speeding up the process, it would be beneficial to any team that signs Juan Soto to sign him quickly so that you can build around him. So Juan Soto, you want the money, but you also want to be on a winner. So I think that is also in the mind of Scott Boras and Juan Soto. Plus, a bird in the hand is very important. You want to take advantage of the fact that you have Steve Cohen ready and willing to go above and beyond. A week, 2, 3 weeks goes by, you're gonna wane. Steve Cohen's interest may wane because there's other lingering options. All right, now I got to go after Corbin Burns. All right, Alex Bregman, he wants to make a decision. As time passes, there will be less suitors for Juan Soto because of the market condition, because of other players who want to sign, because of other players who want to make decisions. So I think we're going to have a decision. I would say, I want a decision, right away, but a lot of these teams like to give these players at least till after Thanksgiving. But I anticipate a decision very, very soon. What do you think? Like, subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. I got to go run to work, but have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for listening.